Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Hey, look, we were talking about Shelby Miller this morning on the show. Hey, on the Wake Up Woodward show, and Big D Energy's about to start. Shout out to Neil and D-Mac, and we got Spinny over there.
And I got the shirt on.
And the shirt on. What do you know?
Pop it in.
Shelby Miller. Let's go. Thank you for giving us the time.
Hey. Absolutely. Absolutely. This place is dope. I like the setup.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah. This is real cool.
Hey, what up, though, people? Hey, look, this is one of those types of mornings, man. Welcome to the Wake Up Woodward show. Thank you all for choosing to kick off your day with the crew. We got the whole starting five in the building. KG, Detroit's #1 draft pick. JB Smooth, Woodward Sports MVP. We got Mr. Matthew, Broder, Lions, Tigers, everything.
It's contained for now.
You guys already know what's happening today. Is whipping it out.
Yes.
All right, I had to give a little bit of space before I said, and we got Mr. Flannel,
Hey.
Sam Reynolds, our vet of the squad, and your boy Brandon Dan Detroit Kool-Aid. Shout out to Shelby Miller, man.
Yeah, How cool was that?
That was an awesome experience.
Oh, yes. And I'm going to do something that's very Neil Rule. Take credit for something that I didn't really have anything to do with. Nobody on this network, nobody in the city of Detroit has talked this man more up than I have. I called him my Tigers MVP at our opening day show. He got another win and another scoreless outing what was it? The game against the Pirates, the one that they won coming back from 3-1 down in the ninth inning. And then we meet him. And then he comes into Birmingham Roast and he's right there. And we're just like, oh my God, that's Shelby Miller. And he came in here and he was as good of a guy as you could have possibly imagined. He was awesome.
Oh, very, very cool, very down to earth. Said he wants to be able to drop by and do maybe a couple appearances or whatnot. That would be really cool. And you know what? Mr. Broder Ball over here, he recognized, he's like, that dude looks like a baseball player.
Yeah.
You know, someone just walks into a room and like there's a different aura about them.
Yeah.
We were meeting over in one of the conference rooms, and it's the office is here. It's like all glass. So we saw him walk in. I was like, man, something looks different about this guy. And after our meeting, we went up and approached him. You guys went up first, and he couldn't have been a nicer guy, a more engaging guy.
Cool.
Loves being in Detroit already. Loves what this team, the potential of this team. He sees a lot in them, and just to talk to him, it's like he's just a regular human being. Like, we forget that sometimes. Even I think, all right, MLB player, also reliever. He might have a screw loose. Like, you never know what you're going to get with pitchers. And I'll say that because I was one. He was a great dude. Looking forward to having him on the show.
Really great person. And you know what? I do got to make sure that we credit our guy down here from the book of Flannel Sam. He's converted all of us, man. Started looking at Shelby Miller and what he's doing for these Detroit Tigers, and it's been something to really, really, really be happy about, man.
He's
3-0.
Yep.
And what's that ERA?
It's 0.00. And as I said before, I cannot state this enough. 4 out of his 7 innings pitched are extra innings in which a runner starts out on second base. And one of those innings was when he needed to keep the game scoreless in the bottom of the 10th. Those are some high-pressure, high-leverage situations, and Shelby Miller has came up big in every single one of them. If you were to give away a bullpen MVP at this point in the season, it would be Shelby Miller. He would be in the Cy Young consideration if it were given out after 11 games. Obviously, we know that that's not going to happen over the totality of a season, but you cannot overstate how important Shelby Miller has been to this Tigers 7-4 start. Say what you want about the Tigers. They are 7-4 through 11 in games, which all of us would have taken if we would have been guaranteed that at the beginning of the year. Correct, Broder?
Correct.
Yes.
Well, hold on, man. It's the gospel of flannel. What you've been saying has been working out. So say he's going to keep up a Cy Young type appearance. Resume for the entire season. Just throw that out there.
You know what? I am calling for Shelby. You know what? If I'm going to be reasonable.
Do it.
Shelby Miller will finish this season with an ERA under 2.
Ooh.
That's my prediction. Yes, all of us would take that.
Yes. Let's rock. Mr. Broder, how are you doing today? You want to tell the people what we got on the docket today?
Yes, I would love to. And that an ERA under 2, ERA under 2. I expect Foley to probably do the same thing. That's one of the best, if not the best, back ends of the bullpen. Imagine if Lang figures it out. He shows some spurts. But what we're talking about today, a lot of Lions. We're going hard on the Lions. We're going to talk Red Wings tomorrow. There's a big game tonight. We are going to go around the city and just remind you all what games are going on later, but we're talking a lot of Lions. Jared Goff made some remarks about the media that has generated a lot of buzz. We're going to talk about that at 8:15. That might carry over into our conversation with Doc, the man, the legend, not even a myth, the legend, Doc Maakaron. He's coming on at 8:30. We're going to talk to him then. Then we're going to get into we're going to put our draft caps on. Just talk generally. What is our strategy? Like if we were Brad Holmes at this point, 14 days away from the draft, what are we thinking? What are we going to do? At 9 o'clock, you know what I'm about to whip out. It's Big Mock 6.0. We're going to talk about it. It was it was an action-packed first round. I can't wait to show you guys. I'm really curious what you think of my pick at 31.
Oh, what does that mean? You already gave away something.
Right.
Action-packed. We'll see. Move back. It's a move back in the draft. Also for someone, well, I don't know if he's going to be there, but he was there for me, and dude, I can't wait.
Hey,
let's go.
Somebody taking the blue pills.
Pardon?
I said somebody's taking the blue pills.
Honolulu blue pills.
Oh, yeah. We got 4 hours to get this done.
Oh, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't, call a doctor.
Yes. Dr. Jeff Pierce.
Hey! There you go. Hey, look at that cross promotion.
Or Doc Maakaron.
Hey, let's rock, man. Let's rock. Let's get around the city.
We off to a great start.
Let's go. Shout out chat, by the way. Love you guys.
Hey, you know what? Let's get around the city too.
Let's
chat. We love y'all too. Smash that like button. Once you've done it, encourage someone else to do the same. The Red Wings, their next game is tonight against the Pittsburgh Penguins. How are you feeling about that, Mr. Flannel Sam?
I'm not feeling confident. I don't know. And there's no really reason why I should, because in that whole tailspin that they've been on, that 5-12-2 stretch, they've actually been 4-5 at home during that stretch, which isn't great, but that's something that you can overcome. The problem is in road games during that stretch, they are an awful 1-7-2.
Sheesh.
And this game, of course, is on the road at Pittsburgh. However, and I want to talk about this really, as briefly as I possibly can. Believe it or not, after all the crap that I talked about the Red Wings yesterday, particularly a guy like Alex DeBrincat, if they beat Pittsburgh tonight in regulation, they're still in a pretty good spot. Granted, they have a game at Toronto coming up, which is also going to be tough, but if the Red Wings win this game tonight, they're kind of in the driver's seat. And that's why I think it's important for them to win this and make the playoffs, because here's the thing. Imagine if this happens tonight. I'm just going to throw out a scenario. Imagine if the Red Wings get a win that not a lot of us are expecting, but they go into Pittsburgh.
I'm imagining it, though.
Hey, if they go into Pittsburgh against a team that they're fighting for a playoff spot with, and let's just say Alex DeBrincat has a goal or two, and it kind of turns into a season-ending hot streak in which the Red Wings get in. You're not going to remember this one goal in 19-game stretch. You're going to remember how Alex DeBrincat showed up when it mattered, when they weren't dead yet, and also for what he did early on in the season and in the middle of the year. If they can win at Pittsburgh and make the playoffs, you're going to remember this season too as when Simon Evanson came up, their defense all of a sudden got better. Imagine if Lucas Raymond and Dylan Larkin end this season strong and continue to play well, and Patrick Kane. You're going to remember this season, if they make the playoffs, as Dylan Larkin had another great year. When Dylan Larkin came back from that injury, the team played better. Lucas Raymond had a career season, and you're going to remember Patrick Kane for being a phenomenal acquisition. That's what I talked about framing. I mentioned this more on Big D Energy, how you can frame everything positively if the Red Wings do make the playoffs. Conversely, if they don't, we're going to look at the end of this season. I know some people are going to excuse whatever they do no matter what. I'm going to look at the end of the season as a collapse. That's the difference to me between making the playoffs and missing the playoffs, because they have collapsed, but they're not dead yet. They're not dead yet.
They're not.
However, if they lose tonight, they are dead. This is the definition of must win. You win in regulation, you're feeling great. You win in overtime, you're still feeling okay. even if you get a point, you're dead. This is must win.
Sam, confidence level tonight.
3 out of 10.
Oh,
Damn.
he said it with a straight face.
3 out of 10. Yeah.
Straight face with surety. Goodness gracious, man. That does not make me comfortable at all.
However, and this is where if I want to speak some confidence into existence, even during this tough stretch, remember after they'd lost 8 of 9 and they had a home game against lowly Columbus and they were down late in the third period and we all thought, oh my goodness, they're going to lose at home to Columbus. Their season's over. They tied the game up with 12 seconds left and then won in overtime. Also, during that tough road stretch, they were 0-3 on a road stretch and they were facing a road game at Florida and at Tampa Bay. And in those 2 games in the state of Florida, the Red Wings were able to come up with 3 points unexpectedly. So even during this bad stretch, when their back has been up against the wall, they've responded a couple of times. It would kind of be very Red Wings-ish, at least in terms of this year, to kind of surprise us and come away with a win at Pittsburgh. And then what they would probably do then is drop one of them to Montreal. But still, one game at a time. As negative as I've been, as much as I went in on them yesterday, I will be just that amount of positive if they can win tonight.
Let's go.
Yeah.
It definitely is appointment viewing at television. Today is one of those 3-1-3 days where we have all three of the teams active of our 4 major pros teams. That is the Detroit Pistons, the Detroit Tigers, and the Detroit Red Wings.
And we got the 313 phone line open, so people can call in all day. 313-552-6322. Sorry, Kool-Aid.
No, it's good. It's good.
Figure we got a lot of open space in the show today. Like, we didn't put in a ton of, direct topics. So call in. Let's hear it.
Let's get the callers in.
Especially in the second hour.
Hey, let's go. And the Pistons, their next game is tonight, and it is the final home game of the regular season for the season period for the Detroit Pistons. They do take on the Bulls. Hopefully they can get some type of a win. They open the season with a win at home against the Bulls. They close the season here against the Bulls. That also means that old friend Andre Drummond will be in the building.
Real quick, I heard he injured himself on that on that thing yesterday where he tried to dunk the ball.
Oh goodness!
I heard he tweaked his ankle, but
oh my god,
yeah,
something else he tweaked.
Hey, the one thing I will say is this, Andre Drummond. I know a lot of people, they have mixed emotions, feelings, or strong opinions about him. The one thing I do know is Andre Drummond loves Detroit. He never wanted to leave. He wished things could have worked out better. He wished he could have been more mature during his time here. He wished he could have lived up to the contract. I know that, his family still lives here in Detroit, and every time he comes back, it's amazing to see how many people actually show up to be able to greet him, to be able to see him. He stays after, and he signs autographs. He takes pictures. So I definitely want to make sure that that's at least pointed out. We can have our laughs, we have our laughs, but the human element of it, Andre Drummond is a real one for the support that he does give to Detroit, and he gets back here and does events. So wanted to at least shout that out.
Yeah,
and
it's not very good on the court.
The Detroit Tigers.
They got a 4-game series.
Twins.
Yeah, 4-game series starts today. 1:10 p.m. I believe it's expected.
Hopefully.
Although it's raining out there. Tarek Skubal's on the mound, lefty, southpaw versus Pablo Lopez. Very good pitcher for the Minnesota Twins. So this is a big stretch. You got to take care of their in-division games. This is where you got to go, like Sam pointed out on opening day, go win a series. Go try to get 3.
Yep. And really quick.
I was just gonna say, because they got a 4-game series against the Twins, and then a 4-game series against the defending World Series champion Texas Rangers. I would say, and I know I'm getting a little bit too ahead of myself right now, go 4-4 at the absolute worst. Yeah. And if you can go 5-3, if you can go 3-1 against the Twins this weekend, you're feeling great great. And I think they're capable of doing so. And it would all start with a win with their ace on the mound and Tarek Skubal today.
Hey, this is one of those, go and just kind of take care of business. Go and handle what you got to handle. We want to see you guys beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. And this is the AL Central. We all have expectations for them to be able to compete in it, not just at Woodward Sports, but even at the Detroit News as well.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. We also got a big Michigan hockey game tonight.
Frozen
Four, baby. Frozen Four. They take on Boston College at 8:30 p.m. tonight. Just before them, Boston University takes on Denver. So at least Sam and I will be watching that closely. No, we got a lot of sports tonight. Not a lot last night, a lot tonight. But, whenever your quarterback's in the news, whenever your quarterback of your NFL team, especially a quarterback of the Detroit Lions, gets on a mic and has some words to say, I think it's a really good conversation we got to talk about. Jared Goff had some comments about the Detroit media that we're going to touch on when we get back.
Let's do it. But first, where can Jared Goff or anybody get their workout on? Of course, it's Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness is home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and we mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, a full-body workout in just 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all of this for only $10 a month, no commitment. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. It's Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Buying your first Feldman Chevrolet is much more than buying the car that will get you from point A to point B. It's a place for first memories, some big, some small. As she grows, you're not just buying her a Chevy, you're buying into a Feldman family. With more than 700,000 vehicles sold, from generation to generation, Feldman just keeps rolling.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
The new glorious ice water bubble hash pre-roll, now with diamonds, constantly pushing to create the best cannabis experience. The perfect boost comes from the added touch of pure THC diamond dust, not angel dust, baby. Allowing flower with the highest terps, making the best even better. Glorious Cannabis. Check us out at your local retailer or gloriouscanna.com.
Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. What up, though, people? Hope your morning has started off good. Ours has started off electric. Still, the atmosphere of Shelby Miller being in the room and everything coming through, being real cool. It was really, really dope experience. And look, we got to talk about another Detroit sports kind of one of those top guys in Detroit sports.
Yeah.
And that is Mr. Jared Goff. He's probably the top guy in Detroit sports.
Not the most talented. Are you the quarterback of your team? Of your city's team may be that top guy.
Sure.
Ooh, Mr. Jared Goff. And he had some comments that he made about the Detroit media. Broder, should we tee up the video first?
Please, yeah.
Let's do that, man. Let's let the people hear it, too. I'm sure some have already heard it.
I probably need to drop it pretty soon here because I'm going to hopefully be in Detroit for a long time. But I have this thing with our local media where, like, they almost, like, relish in negativity at times. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's what gets clicks and that's what sells, but it's no longer what they need to live in. Like, right. Hey guys, like we have a good team. We've had success. Like, we can be happy about that. We can celebrate that, and not have to write about how like we're constantly the underdog. Like, no, like teams are going to be gunning them for us now. Like we won the division, and all that. And I'm probably overthinking it in my head just because it's the chip on my shoulder and the competitor in me. But in that moment, I was just giving that guy a hard time. I actually really like him, but
I think that's great.
All right, you know what, Broder? I have my comments. I know Flannel has his comments too, but I got to come to you first about Mr. Jared Goff and what he had to say.
Yeah, it's such a polarizing conversation because I think there's so many levels to this. Both his comments, his generalities about the media, but also speaking about one person. Also the concept of just negativity in the media, because sure there is some, but I'd argue, so to start, I love that he's actually sharing some of his emotions, like what he feels, how he's reacting to some of this stuff. Because to be honest, like he's gotten really good in these press conferences when we're in the locker room. He gives you really, I don't mean in a bad way, but really vanilla quarterback answers. Like he doesn't give you much. He says all the right things, and his teammates have his back too. He's so level-headed and doesn't really let stuff get to him. But he opened up a little bit here and is like, man, like there is some negativity that the media here in Detroit needs to drop. In the he mentioned the underdog mentality. I think he's got to understand, especially coming from Los Angeles, like this Detroit Lions fan base, and I probably consider myself a little too positive sometimes, but like this fan base has been through the ringer, like for the last 30 to 60 plus years. Like we are underdogs. Like that's part of what makes us different, makes us love our Detroit Lions team, our Detroit sports teams. So I don't necessarily agree with the underdog mentality. I also don't think, especially the writers, I don't think they've been that hard on Goff. Like, first off, part of the job is to be critical. So defining criticism versus negativity, there's a pretty thin line there too. Like, there's a lot of people who have been critical. I wouldn't necessarily call it negative. There's also a lot of people who have been negative, but it's also partly entertainment value. So it's a polarizing conversation. I'm glad he opened up. I personally, and this is the last comment I'll make on it till I pass it back to you guys, I wish he was specific. I wish everyone, when they're talking about someone or another organization or something or a larger group, call the person out. Like you mentioned at the end of that clip.
Like how Brad Holmes did.
Yeah. And
just hold them accountable.
Hold that individual accountable. Like, I think we could all take it if someone criticizes our work or what we say. I'm okay with that because it's their opinion and whatnot. But when you talk about the media as a whole, when you come at Woodward Sports as a whole, if you just come at a group and generalize it as that entire group is a problem, that's probably where a lot of different people have reacted to this differently. Some have sort of stepped up to try to defend themselves. Like, I don't necessarily feel the need to do that, but I understand where they're coming from because that's their livelihood. Like, also negativity and being critical, it does generate clicks. Like, I don't know the guy who posted this, the Lions fan report, but like this was a 49-second clip of a much longer podcast. It was the one negative thing in that podcast. So like everybody's talking about it. That's just that it's we're in a weird place in media where the athletes are having their platforms, they're able to share and talk about things more, but they're also still required by the leagues to talk to the media and at least give a little bit. So I probably have more to say. I feel like I've been rambling a little bit. I want to hear your guys and maybe respond to that too. But I agree with some. I don't agree. I'm glad he's talking.
Yeah, and I know this is going to sound a little. I'll just say it. I don't really care that much. Here's the thing. I've said a lot of things about Jared Goff, Lions players, Pistons players, Red Wings, Tigers, Michigan, all across the board, certainly Michigan basketball as of late, that could be perceived as negative. Even about Jared Goff, you could definitely clip a few things that I said even during this season, even the season in which the Lions made the NFC Championship game, in which if you played them right now and did the whole receipt thing, I would look like a damn fool. And I will admit that. I'm not afraid to be wrong, and I'm not afraid of being called out for being wrong, because I've been I've been wrong many times, and I've been called out for being wrong many times. With Jared Goff, he mentioned this at the beginning, or it was either at the beginning or in the middle of the podcast, or that clip of the podcast where he talked about the chip on his shoulder that he has. And I think that is something that has definitely fueled him. We all know the first year wasn't great here, and it wasn't all his fault. I mean, the offense was what it was. The Anthony Lynn was his offensive coordinator, but it wasn't just that. If you looked at year one of the divorce, if you're Jared Goff, you couldn't have lost it any worse. You come to basically NFL hell, which was the Lions at the time, and then you watch Matthew Stafford quarterback your team to a Super Bowl. And by every objective measure, Matthew Stafford played quarterback for the Los Angeles Rams better than Jared Goff did at any point. It's just objective. It's just facts. However, as time has gone on, as draft picks have been made, as coaching, as Dan Campbell has improved as a head coach, as Ben Johnson has become the offensive coordinator, Jared Goff has thrived with the Detroit Lions. We saw what he did at the end of 2022, where he played great in a 10-game stretch and they finished the year 8-2. We saw the season that Jared Goff had last year, in which he was objectively a top 7 or 8 quarterback in the NFL, probably the best quarterback in the NFC, either him or Brock Purdy. And the Lions made the NFC Championship game. And the reason that they lost the NFC Championship game certainly was not Jared Goff. And one of the teams that the Lions had to beat to get to said NFC Championship game was none other than the Los Angeles Rams, led by Matthew Stafford. So if you're Jared Goff, and I know the heavyweights touched on this last night as well, and I thought they were very smart in how they did this, if you want to use what you want to use as motivation, feel free. And of course, I'm not saying it was just because of Jared Goff. I mentioned the offensive improvements, the coaching staff improvements as well. But Jared Goff has executed this offense about as well as you possibly could over the last couple of years. And he himself is a bit of a redemption story. And if he's one of those people that needs a little negativity or perceived negativity to fuel him, be my guest. It's obviously worked so far. So I'm not mad at him at all for that. Like I said, I've said some out-of-pocket things about Jared Goff, and I've been called out for it. It is what it is. It's the nature of the job.
I want to kind of know, and this is why I wish he was a little bit more specific, is where, and you kind of brought this up too, where is the line drawn between criticism, between expectations based on what he's put out there, like the objectivity of the stats and the play he's had, and negativity? I know that at this network, there's been people who have held strong opinions. I haven't seen too many people actually be negative towards him, though, from a demeaning standpoint or from a standpoint of believing that he was a trash player.
There are some, by the way, but I don't think it's the majority.
It's not.
Yeah, I
didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's okay. I'm just saying. I'm just speaking from a place of at least my own perspective.
Yeah.
I personally have not seen that. I haven't. Most things that I've heard, the most kind of skewed negatively things that I've heard, or things kind of against Jared Goff, has been based on who he's shown to be as a football player. Period. The other aspect of this is the contract that he might command versus where this era of NFL football is going as it relates to quarterbacks. That's the other component of it there as well. I think that those are two things to definitely get critical about. And it's not necessarily bashing on Jared Goff to have the conversations of, can Jared Goff raise his level of play in Detroit? Can Jared Goff be better than year one? Because year one in Detroit, it wasn't what we expected. I don't think that that's a problem to be, or a conversation not having. I saw somebody else in the chat say, like, as it relates to covering a Jared Goff, are we just supposed to say, you'll get him next time, bud? Because that's not the job of the media. The job of the media serves multiple purposes, including across the spectrum of voices from fans, being able to represent those voices depending on your writing style. And most of these big media companies are going to have 2, 3, 4 reporters and writers that are able to make sure that those voices are aptly heard and that those questions are asked. And that when you are writing, I know he's not talking about you, because your writing, I thought, was very, very down the middle, very, very objective, very unbiased, but in a lot of ways complimentary of Jared Goff.
I've leaned that, and that's sort of probably the next evolution of my career as I gain more experience is being more critical, being more, maybe in this case it's negative, like finding that line. I probably leaned a little bit too positive, and Jared Goff, maybe this hits me a little different because I have supported Jared Goff, but I think for anybody, like, media's job is almost to write what the players don't want to read, in a sense. Like, if you're not writing the stories, if you're not putting your opinion out there, you're just doing PR for the Lions. And they have people in the organization that do it. And actually, media members I love. I think Tim Twentyman's great. I think Danny Rogers is great. But their job working for the Lions is to paint them in the best possible picture, give you that inside information in a positive way. But whether it's the Free Press, whether it's Woodward Sports, Pride of Detroit, whoever, like, you got to put your opinion out. That's what people come to see. It's entertainment. And I almost say the negativity is more entertainment. Like, when you think about past hosts on this show who are incredibly entertaining, they steer the negative route, but they do it in an entertaining way. It's not meant for him to take personal. It's just, I
guess I would like to know, what's the definition of negativity?
Yeah,
I think tricky. That's where I'm at. I haven't seen people be. You know who got negativity? Andre Drummond got negativity, irregardless of his play on the court or what people thought of his body language. That man received personal attacks. Everybody showed up to games to literally boo him sometimes. That's the type of stuff I'm talking about. I haven't seen Jared Goff receive negativity. I can take us down a list of players who did receive negativity. I just haven't seen that from him. I've seen people be critical of who they believe Jared Goff can be. And once Jared Goff proved himself and the Detroit Lions proved themselves, a lot of the people, a lot of fans, all of the narrative was, this team is for real. This team is for that. There's nobody here that at least I've seen or read or heard at this network, or even at others, who are sitting around saying these Detroit Lions, they're still underdogs. These Detroit Lions, they're not real. These Detroit Lions had a fluke. I just haven't seen that.
Well, you brought something up earlier. I know we got to get to John in a second, but I just wanted to respond. And I agree with you in a lot of ways about how there's certainly a faction of media members or even fans, and I think this is where some of even my, irritation with the Goff stands kind of has come from. The whole, like, if you say anything other than even when he plays poorly, like, you'll get him next time, or, oh, but did you see that one time Josh Allen had a bad game? Did you see that one time Jalen Hurts had a bad game? I don't want to hear I'm not there for that either. You are allowed to call balls and strikes, and it's not negative. It's not anything out of pocket. But the reality is, and Broder, I know you'll agree with me on this one, is that this season there's been a lot more positive things to talk about when it comes to the Lions and Jared Goff than negative. If you're just manufacturing negativity, that is a little bit annoying. Right. But I don't think anybody was really doing that, except for some of the darkest dredges of Detroit sports media. Nobody here, by the way, nobody here. But that's a kind of what it is. And Broder, I'm confident that if you were starting off your beat career in 2021, that you wouldn't have been as positive. That's the thing. They had a great year. They had a great year. There's nothing wrong with like leaning more positive this season.
100%.
Like 90% of the time, you can be positive.
Yeah. If we have time, I would love to revisit this conversation later in the show.
Absolutely.
No, actually, I'm so excited that Doc is on today, because sometimes you can't see who all asks the questions, and not all of our viewers read Doc or me or Pride of Detroit or whoever. But Doc's one of those who he doesn't hold back asking questions. He wants to get the actual stories, ask the actual tough questions, and sometimes generating a tough response from the players. So I'm truly interested to hear his take on it. Let's take a quick break here so we can get to Doc on the other half of this break.
Hey, because you guys already know we're talking about the Detroit Lions heavy show today. That means we got to make sure we get our Detroit Lion the best. And I get my Detroit Lion the best at Premier Pet Supplies, hands down, Michigan's best pet store. Same prices and all the conveniences of the online and big box retailers, with one major difference: they've been family and locally owned for over 30 plus years. Over 60 brands of food with nutritional experts to help you. Same day, local curbside and home delivery. Premier Pet Supply. Give your pet the best at www.premierpetsupply.com.
In the 2024 Media Draft, Detroit selects Woodward Sports. Thank you for making us the #1 digital network in Detroit.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime.
Let me tell you about something awesome. Awesome is when a guy can be a guy and get an amazing haircut. That's Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Stop in, sit back, and relax, and let one of Lady Jane's talented hairstylists make you look and feel great. Walk in anytime, 7 days a week. It's Lady Jane's. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked awesome.
All right. What up, though, people? Welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. Thank you all for kicking off your day with the crew. We got the whole starting five here, and we got Mr. John Maakaron, publisher of All Lines on Sports Illustrated and the host of the Detroit Sports Podcast. Welcome to the show, Doc. Chat family, smash that like button for the Doc.
The Doc!
Let's go. I like that hat, by the way.
Yeah, fellas, good morning. It's a great morning to talk sports. I love the fact that Jared Goff sparked an interesting debate that I can weigh in on from an expert perspective, so I love it.
Let's
Real
go.
fast, Kool-Aid, your second interview with Rod Beard was flawless. I thought you could have went another extra minute of butt kissing to intro him, but I thought that the way to get you in the door for the interview, man. Good job.
Hey,
Great
look.
job with Rod yesterday.
Rod doesn't miss, bro. He doesn't miss. So there's no negativity over here as it relates to covering Rod Beard.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I was very intrigued to see how you guys get along, and I can tell there's rapport, maybe an interesting burgeoning relationship developing between you and Rod there. So it was always good to have a professional talk about the Pistons, especially when there's so much negativity and toxicity regarding that franchise.
Professional. I mean, it is what it is, but I want to kick things off. Obviously, we're talking about Jared Goff. We're talking about the comments and this negativity aspect. I need your unadulterated thoughts on this, and I know that that's the only way that you're going to give it.
No doubt about it. I completely disagree with Jared Goff, with his entire premise. And really, in the end, it's disregarding a hardworking guy like Broder. You look at what he's trying to accomplish, a young reporter trying to develop rapport in that locker room, trying to ask deeper questions than even beyond just X's and O's. So where's the respect for Broder, who's trying to understand a player's leadership style, trying to understand a different aspect of what a player and a team are bringing to a league and a game? So where's the respect for the positivity that has been covered, the reporters that did in-depth features, the reporters that talked about all of the behind-the-scenes stuff going on with the football team in a team that took a step forward? So to me, Jared Goff incorrectly stated his opinion. It was valid. He doesn't like the narrative that the Lions are underdogs. That doesn't mean the entire media is negative. That's all I'm saying in regards to my response, which is if I do 6 stories a day, most likely at all Lions, 3 of them are going to be in a way that are positive and hopeful and stat-driven and all that, and 3 of them are going to be, here are things I don't like, here are things that maybe I'm concerned about, here are my worries about the team. And so fans, I understand in this new age where the players are like wanting as much publicity as possible in a positive light. They don't want critique. They don't want to hear that maybe there's a podcaster named John Maakaron who still doubts that Jared Goff can win a Super Bowl. So needs to be a healthy level of respect from both sides. And I just think that the way in which Jared Goff phrased it put the media in a negative light. And yes, I'm going to defend the media because I'm part of it. And look, it's a no-win battle. Look, there's more fans than there are media members. But for the fans that are just dunking on the media, have a little bit more respect because guys like Broder, the news, the free press, myself, we're the ones bringing you the information. And yes, I know players can now deliver it themselves, and they can deliver it via the Players Tribune. But now I'm part of that. So if you're not happy with the traditional media, please, I welcome you to go to the Players Tribune. It's a wonderful website where athletes can share their opinion in their own way. But if you feel like the media is being too negative, you're free to comment and message a reporter anytime you want. We can still have a civil discourse. Look, I don't agree with certain things that Broder says or does, but we high-five each other. We say hello. We're respectful. And so that's where I think a lot of the media are starting to feel a little more disrespect than what's needed. But at the same token, hey, I can sit here and take it. I'm not scared of criticism. I took it directly from a player, and I stood there and addressed what the concern was, and we buried the hatchet when I had a personal issue with a player in the locker room. So in the end, I just feel like there's not enough respect for the work that the media does, and there's this false narrative that the media is too negative. There are opinionists who are going to give guys, and this is more for the chat and the people listening, toughen up. If you want soft serve coverage of a sports team, I'm sorry. Detroit is not going to be part of that. There are legitimate opinionists who have strong, valid opinions that are going to share it with you. And if you don't like it, then I'm sorry that you can probably go and find your favorite fanboy site to just tell you that Jared Goff who had the best season of all time. He's a legend. He's a legend killer. Go chant his name. If you can go find that. But at the same token, don't knock those of us that are bringing both sides. And finally, my final opinion on this is the true definition of journalism. just go type it. What is journalism? It is saying and writing things that the players don't want you to say, digging for things, learning about things. And that's what true journalism is. That's where this whole idea of coverage was founded on. Research, investigative stuff, learning about things. And look, I don't have to write negative things for clicks. I can just share it with you. I'm humble and share it. When the Lions won in January, we had the biggest numbers of views in the history of our website. And it led to a lot of wonderful, blessed things for me moving forward. But in the end, guys, I want the Lions to win. I want them to win and be positive and everything like that. But I'm blessed. I don't have to kiss their ass to make myself be available. I got lucky, and I built a following in the past through the podcast, and I am free to share my opinion in the way in which I feel best. And if Jared Goff doesn't like it, he can share it, but I need him to be truthful. And also, fine, if you feel like, okay, there's a narrative that the Lions are underdogs, you don't like it, fine. But at the same token, highlight some of the reports that you liked. Highlight a guy like Broder who busted his ass and learned on the job, on the fly, and tried to report things in a fair way. Where's the coverage for that? Where's the coverage for Doc, who wrote a story just 4 days ago that said, hey, there's a reporter out there that thinks that Goff is an MVP candidate. What y'all think? So just don't present one side and call me a negative hater when, in fact, my coverage, I try to make it 50-50. And if you don't like it, go somewhere else. I have enough readers. I'm good.
John,
mic drop.
Yes. Hey, John, there is so much to unpack there, and I just want to respond briefly to a couple of things. One, I appreciate your perspective and Broder's perspective as people who are in the building. I'm a guy who's just basically a media personality who doesn't have really in the building connections or personal connections to any of those.
One of the most well-studied people I know, though.
I appreciate it. I appreciate that. You also mentioned how there certainly is a faction of media members, even on this network, I believe. I'm not going to mention any names, and certainly a lot of people in this here chat that we're talking to right now that even when Jared Goff plays poorly and you try to criticize him, they just won't have it. It's just like, no, but what about Jalen Hurts? What about Josh Allen? Oh my God, it's the worst thing ever. Why are you hating? I don't like that either. However, to me, I'm somebody who I know as I've grown up at Woodward Sports. Nobody at Woodward Sports, and this isn't a badge of honor or anything like that, after Mr. Baydoun left, nobody says things that make people more upset than myself. I understand that. I understand that I said some things about the Lions and Jared Goff in particular that didn't necessarily age well when you looked at how they ended their season. So to me, Jared Goff, if he wants to point that out, if he wants to use that as, say, fuel to his fire, I don't necessarily mind when it comes to that perspective. What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. Look, I think that this all goes back to freedom of speech. We all have the right to state our opinion. One, I just don't believe that, guys, I understand the view that many people have, well, if you write negative things, it gets more clicks. Guys, in the end, it's roughly the same as if you write something positive. So in the end, people just want accountability. They want you to say, hey, I wrote this, and look, Brad Holmes did it with some of the members of the media, and they stood up for themselves. Look, we're all accountable. That's part of the job, is to say, hey, if you dig up a take guys, that's the blessing of being a public person and having a page where you can reach out to me. Some people will answer you, some people won't, but I welcome any constructive criticism. I'm not perfect. So if you feel like Sam said something and I feel like you're a stand-up guy because you're an individual that will answer the chat, you'll respond to it, you don't run and hide. Similarly, I think the most people that are respected are those that are accountable. And if you feel like there's something you don't like, I think the part that is concerning for someone like me is those that are trying to frame a narrative that isn't true. The media in Detroit are not overly negative. In my opinion, the media in Detroit are fair. There are opinions you may not like. So if you don't like an opinion, just state to the reporter, hey, it's not you're a bum, I hate you, I think that you should be fired off your platform. It's, hey, I think that Jared Goff is an MVP candidate, and here's why. He's got a great offensive line. He's going to have 3 receivers that are going to be legendary. Ben Johnson's back. It's not to discount someone's voice because you don't like their opinion. And so there's too much of, we want to be in the group of a fan that just absolutely wants to support everything that the Lions say and do. Guys, I would say that I probably would be considered one of the ultimate fans, a former season ticket holder, a regular podcaster, someone that loves to talk about the Detroit Lions. But if you sat and watched the game with me, you would think that I hated the Lions. If I sat as a fan, you would think, oh my God, I think Doc's going to have an aneurysm. He's cussing out a 3rd down and 1 that they didn't convert. And I'm just sitting there throwing my hat going, why didn't you fucking run a fucking play that gets you a 1st down? And, you know what I mean? But you would think that Doc is crazy. You would think, I can't watch it with him. Some people would rather go with the guy that just cheers all the time. Yeah, Jared, you'll get him next time. It's just a different flavor, but I have the right to be here. I have the right to have a media site. I have the right to speak my mind. The problem is when people don't agree with you, they get so emotionally attached to it. I just say, hey, spit your game, tell the people. So Sam, tell Easy that he's wrong, have the mutual respect, give each other hugs and move on and keep it moving. But I just think that the vitriol that fans have when a media member outside of Detroit has something bad to say is a little bit hilarious in my mind. I like to sit back. Joy Taylor got it a lot last year when she ripped the Lions. The fans just clamored to attack her. But in the end, we all have a voice. We all have a right to speak our mind. And Sam, I respect you greatly. Yesterday, I had so much respect for you for spitting your game about Yzerman, the Red Wings. For you to stare at a camera and rip Steve Yzerman is something to behold. Even though, you know, you're partially incorrect, you have a lot of valid points about a rebuild that's not going as fast as it needs to be.
Appreciate it, John.
Man, Doc, I appreciate those words and how you speak to both sides of this all. It can be toxic out there with, and I say that sort of separate from the Jared Goff comments, just when you jump on a group, whether it's the media or Woodward Sports or 97.1, like someone in my comments the other day, the new 97.1, one of the new hosts, Mark Ryan, he just made a comment like on a question I posed on Twitter, and someone like came out of nowhere and was like weak ass 97.1, like clearly didn't know anything about Mark, anything about his opinion, but jumped on it because of this narrative out about, you know, maybe some of his colleagues who are negative, or this guy who commented just doesn't really know what's going on. So I'm with you, and I'm trying to think of. I had a question for you, and it sort of slipped my mind, but the accountability part of it is huge, and I know you're probably in defense of some of the guys kind of stepping up and defending themselves in the media.
Yeah, we have a right to defend ourselves because, like you said, it's our livelihood. And look, I'll just look at it like this. We're all in the business of gathering as many readers and viewers as possible. So if Jared Goff says something like that and that turns the anti-media sentiment on, and let's just say I would lose 5 readers, if my defense saves me 1 reader, then hey, then I'll do it. I'll defend guys like you, Broder, guys in the media that are in the room grinding. You see the work that they put in, sometimes staying till 7, 8 o'clock at night, having to wait and be patient to get information out to the readers. The media in Detroit deserves a lot more credit than they get. Yeah, there are aspects of the media that can be improved, no doubt about it. And athletes want to control the narrative. Again, go to the Players Tribune then if you're not happy. It's a great publication that is driven by the athletes who are allowed to have their voice. But, Broder, I look at it like this from the perspective of the media and how the coverage in Detroit needs to continue to move forward. Look, we are allowed to have civil discourse. We're allowed to, at the same token, have differing opinions that are going to be anti-player. It just is the way it is. And I just think for viewers out there, I just think that the anti-media sentiment is a little too strong. But I will say this, okay? Twitter's not real. Look, Twitter only represents 5% of people. It's the most common place that a guy like me will go entertain that nonsense. But I first and foremost, I'm only addressing the entire global anti-media sentiment. I have the most amazing readers and followers. I ask questions all over the place, and I get all kinds of variety of responses, some toxic, some great. I know that Broder's checking out my page as he's liking a lot of the stuff we're asking and stuff like that. So to me, I'm just addressing the small minority of fans that are so anti-media that they believe the media is out to get Jared Goff. Look, Jared Goff's fine. He's a California kid. He's not used to the fire a little bit hot. And he said it himself. Pay attention to what he said in that clip. He said, I'm in my head too much. Why is Jared Goff in his head too much? Because he's insecure and still hurting from an organization just going, hey, you were our guy. You were within 1 game of winning a Super Bowl to see you later. We're going to dump you out like trash. So he's very hypersensitive in his own psyche about what he's about. And so when he has an opportunity to soak up all the adulation and to say, hey, I told you guys that I'm a good quarterback, he's going to take full advantage of it. But you don't do it by slamming an entire media group when you really just took issue with one guy's question. And look, athletes are allowed to take umbrage with questions. CD Deuce told me right to my face he didn't like my question. And guys, in the end, when you slam a media member, I'm just going to share something with you, maybe a little too inside information.
Bring it, Doc.
When CD Deuce slams the doc and people hear it, it only helped me. So in the end, it's not going to hurt media members too much in regards to all the vocal complaints. But in the end, I'm of the opinion if a reporter does good work, if a reporter puts in the effort, brings a fair and balanced, objective take on his work, you'll have no problem in the media business. If you're just slanted and just one way, you might face more criticism. But, to me, I just want to keep highlighting guys like Kool-Aid, Sam, all the crew that you guys got. You're doing the work. So just, hey, you're going to have some bad takes out there. But in the end, if you're accountable and you're a good person and you do this with the utmost respect, you'll be okay. But I just take umbrage with this anti-media notion because you don't like an opinion that someone gave. It's just I can't fly with that. I don't jive with that.
Appreciate you, Doc. Let me ask you one more question before we get you out of here because we're going to transition into some Lions draft strategy talk. Keeping this simple and high level with where the Lions are right now, 14 days out of the draft, 14 days till we're down in Detroit. What's your strategy? What's your first-round strategy? Whether that's a position group, whether that's a trade up or back, or even a player you have in mind. Just like, where's your head at this point?
Yeah, no doubt. We're still waiting. Me and the rest of the NFC North reporters, we regularly email each other, and we get together and do roundtables. We're going to release maybe in the next hour or two the latest draft buzz that we're hearing from inside Allen Park and from others that we talk to regarding what the Lions are doing. Give you a little preview. You guys know the Lions are doing their due diligence on cornerbacks and wide receivers. So it's going to be fascinating to see how the Detroit Lions approach when the opportunity comes at number 29. If they have two players that they value very closely, like let's just say you have Darius Robinson and Kool-Aid McKinstry on the board, where do they value the position the most? And look, I think the best player that they could possibly take is going to be probably a defensive lineman, an edge rusher, if there's one there. But I think the strategy has to be look at obviously clearly what Brad Holmes says, and I think that they're going to target probably a cornerback or an edge rusher. Outside chance, it's a wide receiver depending on how the board falls. But when you hear Enos Rakestraw, you hear Kool-Aid McKinstry, Tyrion Arnold visiting, you know they're doing the due diligence. And boy, what a resource. If you guys, in talking about media, support The Athletic, that Dane Brugler is an animal. I started reading some of the information on the Beast. Holy cow, the level of detail that has to be done over 18 months to put that together. I learned so much about Tyrion Arnold, Kool-Aid McKinstry, and it just kind of lends to, man, you know why the Lions would like Tyrion Arnold? He's got a lot of special teams value, a lot of reps at special teams. He could be a returner. So it's going to be very interesting to see, the Lions in terms of their efforts moving forward. But if you're looking at it, Brad Holmes went there, so he knows about Tyrion Arnold and Kool-Aid McKinstry. And Brugler ranked Arnold number 1 in terms of the cornerbacks, and a lot of it has to do with his intangibles. Competitive, is a guy that played a lot of special teams reps, and even though he's not as tall and as fast as Kool-Aid McKinstry, I think that he's a guy that if it was between Tyrion Arnold and Kool-Aid McKinstry, I think it would favor Tyrion Arnold because he has a little bit more intangible. Some of the weaknesses that were documented about McKinstry might raise some alarms for the Lions. Go check it out, man. What a great resource. But cornerbacks, guys, it has to be. You look at it, it's the biggest position of need, and there's a lot of good talent and a lot of versatility as well. But as the draft approaches, I'm excited to hear more from the Lions regarding their strategies. We'll have that opportunity. Broder will have an opportunity to ask more great questions in the coming days. So, man, it's the nitty-gritty. It's time, man. I'm excited.
Yes.
So, Doc, sorry to backtrack, but this is going back to the media thing. So this is now the second instance in which someone from the organization has called out the media. You mentioned that Brad Holmes did it just a little while ago. Do you think this is creating a bad vibe between the organization and the media? Is there ways that this relationship can improve, or do you think this is a bad look for the Lions by calling out the media like this?
No, yeah, the way it can improve is Broder would write more positive things if he would be a little nicer to the players in the locker room. I mean, I don't think he's positive enough. I think that Broder needs to rank how great Jared Goff was last year in the history of the NFL. Guys, look, you have to look at it psychologically. That's how my brain works. When you're an organization, and I understand it, I'm a podcaster, so I got crapped on my whole start to the media career as just an internet guy with a loud mouth. And look where I took it. I used that as motivation to kick the door down. That was my vision was, oh, you guys think a podcaster can't cover the NFL? Fine, let me show you what can be achieved when you reach and try your absolute hardest to prove someone wrong. I understand that, and I'm doing some of that now. I'm doing my shit talking, saying, hey, I'm a podcaster and I cover the NFL. That's something that's not done too often from a media perspective for someone to come as a podcaster. So the Lions are backed in a corner. They want to fight, scratch, and claw to change the narrative that they're a defunct organization. But look, one good year doesn't erase the stench of the shit of 50 years. It doesn't erase it. Yeah. And to me, I'm of the opinion that, look, we all can sit and praise the Lions for 2023 until the end of time. What a season. What a dream season. Oh my God, all the tears that I shed, remembering all the great games. To me, that lasted 5 minutes. To me, I'm like, how the hell is this football team going to win? I'm happy that they had success. I'm happy I could write some positive things. But to me, how I view it as a fan, my personal perspective, I'm pissed off. They didn't win. They didn't reach number one status. Yeah. They didn't hoist the Lombardi trophy. So my opinion is, what the hell are you guys going to do to not let the fan base down again, not choke when you have a lead? That's the angle that I would take. Others will say, they're on the rise. They're great. I love them. I'm going to renew my season tickets and I'm going to buy 5 more. Hey, to each their own. I love that perspective. But my perspective is, gosh darn it, I need you boys to win this Super Bowl and hoist it and give the city what they've been clamoring for, repay a little of the investment. And it's just my opinion. And I think the media relationship is great. It's a healthy back and forth. Brad Holmes has an ego. We all have egos. There's no way I could do what I do if I didn't have a little bit of an ego. That's why there's a clash. It's Jared Goff's ego and the Doc's ego clashing, boom, boom, boom. But in the end, we would have mutual respect knowing that, hey, you're a quarterback of a great NFL team, and I'd have to show him, hey, we're doing some good work over here at Sports Illustrated's All Lions, and I'm proud to be part of the media and proud to have built an audience that likes what I do. But it's always going to be a clash. They want PR, baby. They want the love. Yeah. They don't want Doc coming on the airwaves and saying y'all choked in the final 30 minutes and pissed off your fans. They don't want that. But in the end, when they would question me about it, I would have mutual respect and say, hey, I come at it more from the Belichick style. Hey, you gained 5 yards. Why didn't you gain 6? I'm not about the participation trophies. I'm a little bit more hard-nosed. I came from a Middle Eastern father who was like, look, I love you. You know I love you. I'm your dad. But if you don't bring me a degree, I'm going to whoop your ass, and I'm going to throw you out, and I'm not going to charge you $200 rent. I'm going to charge you $600 rent. So Jesus. Go out there, get this shit done, bring me a degree, or I'm not going to be happy. And I appreciate that now as a 45-year-old man grinding. I didn't need to have my ass. I didn't need my dad to kiss my ass. I needed him to toughen me up and send me out to the world to fight and scratch and claw. And that's what he did. That's why he allowed me to go to Michigan State. He said, look, John, get out there and grind and bring me a degree, or you're going to have problems in this world. Because if you don't have a degree, if you don't wisen up, if you just go to Michigan State to get laid and drink, you're going to be fucked up in this world. So I did both. I had the best time at Michigan State in the history of the world, but nice. I brought him a degree in 4 years, and I didn't flunk out. I had the best time, and that's the way I approach it. Is that football is a tough-nosed game, and you don't need to be kissing the ass of these players. There's too much of that. That's why you're seeing some of these guys not reach their potential.
Yeah, that was well said, man. This
Yes.
was a great segment, especially with the kind of trending news of Jared Goff. And I think one of the things that's interesting here, is the fact that honestly, sports players and media alike, they sit at the same table as it relates to receiving criticism. No matter what you believe you've done, in this chat alone, there's the same aspect of negative criticism at us that they don't believe the media, and it's not everybody, some people, that they don't believe that the media should be hurling at some of our Detroit Lions players or any of our sports teams. And it is interesting, you go over to the Detroit Pistons, oh my goodness, there's a whole wealth of criticism aimed at the media and at the players, at the team, at the owner, at everybody. I guess it just kind of depends on which team is on the up and up at that current time based on how people choose to take it. But Doc, great segment, man. Yeah. Great segment. I definitely give that an applause. I thought you handled those things pretty well.
No doubt, guys. Look, and if you disagreed with what I've said, if you feel like I talk about myself too much, hit the chat. We'll have a civil discourse. And, my honest opinion, Kool-Aid, I think you could even be more negative about Troy Weaver. I think that oh, my God. Did Troy send you his Christmas card already? Are you invited to the jet? I think that when Troy Weaver has his list of guys that he's got to thank and go, thank you, man, he's got to have Kool-Aid on that list. He's out there getting...
How else do I make it into the organization?
Exactly. I love it. Oh, you're trying to go above Rod to Troy. Genius move.
Smart.
I like it. But I would kiss Brad Holmes' ass a little more. You might have a longer-term job.
Thank you as always, Doc, man. Publisher of All Lions Sports Illustrated, host of the Detroit Sports Podcast, and a weekly recurring guest here on the Wake Up Woodward Show. Thank you, Doc, man.
Thanks, Doc.
Definitely some good news, some bad news. And I got a little bit more good news and bad news to tell you all about as well. Insurance rates are up in the state of Michigan. The good news, though, is that Swiss Insurance is here to help. You don't got to do this alone. You don't got to fight it alone. There's no negativity with Swiss Insurance. Right now, more than ever, it's critical for you to have your insurance reviewed. Swiss will make sure your carrier does not slip in extra fees or raise your deductibles. Call Mark at SwissInsurance.com. He deserves no negativity either. Or visit SwissINS.com. Tell him that Woodward Sports sent you.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports. Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media. We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports. Either way, the heavyweights are here. Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Hey, you guys, look, I know you're tired of wearing that same old Detroit sports merch. Look, it is a new era with amazing apparel, new designs, and the ultimate swag. Go to woodwardsports.com, click on that shop tab. We are dropping new designs every single week. We got the Election, Campbell, and Holmes hoodies right there. They also come in hats, too. We got the new Tigers sweatshirts as well, too. Also, lastly, I'm not a fan of this one because we had this debate yesterday about this damn Detroit sign, and they were quick to put out a t-shirt of it. I can't believe that right there. But hey, if you're interested in it, we got that as well too for you. So go to woodwardsports.com, click on that shop tab, get swagged out. The draft is literally only 2 weeks away.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Ain't no party like a techno party.
Excuse me while I whip this out. Excuse me while I whip this out. Excuse me while I whip this out.
That intro.
Hey, that is cooking, man. Thank you guys for choosing to start your day with the Wake Up Woodward crew. We appreciate you, chat family. Before we get to the big mock, I do got to make sure that we, highlight some of our chat family real quick, as well as after the merch read, we actually got a shirt to give away. JB, you're not the winner of the Detroit signed shirt.
Oh, thank you.
So I'm sure you're going to be happy about that. But oh my gosh. Okay. Mighty Meat, you are the winner.
Mighty Meat.
Mighty Meat, you are the winner
shit.
of the, and I think it's appropriate. We have the Big Mock segment, right? Mighty Meat, at Mighty Meat Media, you are the winner of the Welcome to Detroit signed t-shirt. Congratulations. Heck of a handle, bro. Wait. Oh, man.
Oh, pause.
Oh, man. And Devin the Dog, shout out to you for the super chat, $9.99, man. Appreciate you greatly. He said, shout out to Flannel Sam. This man took a shot of Tito with me and went back to work like nothing happened. This man is a dog. Best opening day ever. I concur, man.
I'm no Spencer Raxter or anything like that, but
bro, you had an underrated performance at the opening day party, man. I'm telling you, long drink flannel, y'all. That is a different Flannel Sam, man, and I'm here for it.
I appreciate that, man. That was a very fun time, and Devin, glad you were able to make it out. It was just a blast meeting everybody, reuniting with some old friends as well. Just a all-around A+ opening day, and the Tigers got that win.
Damn right.
Thank you, Devin. You're the man.
Stick and I were looking at the replay of the show. We can see the moment when the long drink hit. Your face just went to like, you're like, it's on. But Broder, hey, first and foremost, chat family, hit that like button for Broder's big mock. It's time to hide your wife, hide your kids. Broder, whip it out.
Oh, shit.
Whip it out, Ruben, no doubt. No, this is an exciting one. We got an action-packed first round. Lions trade back, but there's a lot of moves in this. So as I present this, I'll go faster through the first 30 picks of the first round. But there's some trades that some maybe you agree with, maybe you don't. So you guys, this crew, and also as I'm presenting, check out the chat. If they have something to bring up, cut me off. Let's break down something. But I'm really interested in what you guys think of this pick at 31. So JB, let's just get it rolling. Let's whip it out. The picks 1 through 8 for the NFL draft.
Instead of the draft noise, we need like a zipper.
So here we go. At the top, we got Caleb Williams, obviously going number 1. Jaden Daniels at number 2. JJ McCarthy at number 3 to the Patriots. And then the first move. Here we go. The Raiders make their first splash, trading up with Arizona to go get Marvin Harrison Jr. Pair him with Devontae Adams. They solidified a little bit of their defense, getting Christian Wilkins to pair with Max Crosby, but they go get the top receiver in this draft. The Cardinals need a lot. They need a lot of help, so they're accumulating draft capital. But then look at this. Look at this. At number 5, Washington trades up with the Chargers at number 5. They're taking a page out of the Texans' book from last year, going and getting their quarterback of the future in C.J. Stroud, going and getting Will Anderson Jr. They did it on offense, though, getting LSU's Heisman-winning quarterback Jaden Daniels, and then trading back up in the top 5 to get Malik Neighbors. What do you guys think of that before I keep going?
Well, it's like maybe expediting things a little bit for Washington, because Jaden Daniels, there's definitely an argument to be made that he could have the best career out of anybody out of this quarterback class. And Malik Neighbors, you pair him with Terry McLaurin, you've got yourself the makings of what could become a good offense. And you have to remember too, with the Commanders, even though I don't think they're going to be any good this year, their defensive line still has Jonathan Allen and Deron Payne, even though they lost Chase Young and Montez Sweat. I don't necessarily hate it. Looking to maybe expedite things a little bit in the Commanders rebuild.
Yeah, they definitely need an offensive lineman, but taking the stab at the two LSU studs.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Joe Alt falls in the lap of the Giants. They go Alt. Fashanu goes to the Texans to protect Will Levis. And then the Bills at number 8. They lose Diggs, and they trade up to go get one of the top 3 receivers. They get Rome Odunze to replace Stephon Diggs with the Falcons trading back. Seeing that the wide receivers are going earlier,
makes sense.
There's a couple tackles. Maybe if the Falcons want some defensive help, some edge rushing help, they may still be able to get them at maybe not 28, but they might be moving back up in the first round as we see. You like Odunze to the Bills?
I love it. They have to replace Diggs because no matter what you want to say about Diggs and how he finished the season and how maybe he became a little bit of a malcontent at times, when Stephon Diggs got there, their offense took off.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen benefited greatly from Stephon Diggs, as did Stephon Diggs from Josh Allen. So maybe Rome Odunze getting to play with Josh Allen year 1, that would be a huge help for him, and I think he could eventually become Josh Allen's best friend out there.
And Dad with Tourette's, he said not terrible for the start of this mock. It has a solid mock size. Hey, look, you made Broder laugh.
It was Dad with Tourette's?
Yeah.
Dog. All right, can we go to 9 through 16? More trades.
I got you.
If I remember correctly, the Bears don't pick at 9. That's right. Chargers. They use that extra draft capital that they got for trading out of number 5, which they got a haul. That's Commanders trading up to get Malik Neighbors. They use it to jump back into the top 10 and get Fuaga and begin to build that bulldogging offensive line in front of Justin Herbert. Pair him with Rashawn Slater. Yeah. It just looks a lot better to me. They obviously had the shot at Alt, but you move back, you still get Fuaga. I would be a fan of that if I were Chargers fans. The Colts at 15, they jump up 5 spots to give Anthony Richardson another weapon. They go get Brock Bowers at number 10. Don't take any chances. They might go cornerback at 15. There's a couple needs they got. But now you got Michael Pittman. You got Josh Downs, Alec Pierce, and now Brock Bowers for Anthony Richardson.
Nice.
Plus Jonathan Taylor. One of those running backs who was left off that one guy's like top 15 running backs list. I don't really know why that's the case. But there we go. But look at this at number 11. Drake May. Drake May to the Vikings. They decide not to trade up to get J.J. McCarthy, who went at number 3 to the Patriots. They go with Drake May. And I was doing a little bit of digging, and there was an article in the Star Tribune, and I believe this is in North Carolina. Quarterback Drake May and Josh McCown, the quarterback's coach at Minnesota, they used to work together when Drake May was in high school, and McCown was I believe he was an assistant coach or a quarterback's coach in the state of North Carolina. I can't remember. I'm blanking on whether it was in the NFL or if he was coaching a high school team or something. But they have a connection. They've worked together. So I'm just, all right, Vikings, I'm not having them go up and get McCarthy in this draft. They stay at number 11. They get Drake May. Dallas Turner at number 12 to the Falcons. This is them trading back up from 28. They had the Bills pick at 28. They moved back up to get their edge rusher at 12 with the extra draft capital they got. The Cardinals, who had moved back, they get Jerzon Newton, a couple tackles to the Saints. The Jets, who moved back, still get Fatanu. And then the Seahawks, Byron Murphy sort of falls in their lap. They need help all across that defensive line, or at least some reinforcement. So if they're not going secondary, they go Byron Murphy. Thoughts on these picks, boys?
Chef's Talk said this mock is bulging.
It's growing?
It's bulging, man. Keep the comments streaming in, chat family.
Yeah. All right.
I like
How
it
you
so
feeling
far.
about it, Mr. Flannel?
There's a lot. I mean, I like a lot of the picks. The Fuaga pick, possibly pairing him with Rashawn Slater. The Bowers pick, giving Anthony Richardson, Jonathan Taylor, and then Michael Pittman, and then Brock Bowers. I don't hate that. Even Drake May to the Vikings.
I love it.
Here's the thing. If you, and I'm a J.J. McCarthy stan, if the choice was between trading up to 3 to get J.J. McCarthy or staying put at 11 and still being able to get Drake May, I might take that route of staying at 11 to get Drake May. Dallas Turner, the Falcons, they filled a lot of holes, especially at quarterback in the offseason, but they need an edge rusher in the worst way. I definitely like that. These are at least 8 through 12. I think those are very compelling picks and guys that can help their teams pretty quickly. Although Drake May, he might sit for a year, but you understand. Yeah, he can.
They got Darnold for a year, so he can.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was my thought. I know they traded to get pick 23. Everyone thinks they're going to move up, and they very well might. But for this one, I'm like, what if they stay and get two guys in the first round? So we're going to hit the second half of this draft when we get back from break. Kool-Aid, where are we going with this one?
Or
Flannel.
You
or
know
JP.
what? What
Maybe
you
it's
want?
me. Boys and Girls Club?
I think it is you. Yeah,
While we figure that out, Steve DeYoung said this mock is definitely getting hard. He's not happy seeing the players he wants to go to other teams.
Yeah.
Hey, look, we got another half of this big mock to get to.
Looking stiff so far.
Yeah, let's go.
It's getting harder. Boys and Girls Club of Southeastern Michigan. Actually, I should break a little bit before I start giving this read. Let's start over. Boys and Girls Club of Southeastern Michigan and the Jerome Bettis Foundation. The Jerome Bettis Bus Stops Here Foundation is proud to present the 3C Sports Conference. It's here to educate, to inform, and inspire players, parents, and coaches in our local communities. There are going to be impactful speakers like the bus himself, Ohio State great Eddie George, and University of Michigan great Adam Schefter. April 24th through the 26th, right around draft date. We'll have more information, but you can go get more information and tickets. Just scan the QR code on the screen and sign up today.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
To any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week, walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer. It's where I got my new car after my old one broke down on the way to the Michigan-Ohio State basketball game. It wasn't this year. It was the year before, but still, that was a bad omen. Then maybe I shouldn't be going to the Chrysler Center anymore. But do you know who saved me? You know who saved me during my time of need? Feldman Chevrolet in Novi, where we do shows every couple of weeks. They always treat us very well. And if you go in there, even if you've got a deal that maybe, if you've got a loan outstanding that you didn't completely pay off on your old car that's a little upside down, they can still get you a good deal. Hey, look at me now. I'm not suffering too bad, and it's all because of the guys at Feldman, guys like Ryan Palter, guys like JP, guys like Francis. They helped me out. They can hook you guys up too. So if you run into any car trouble or just want to experience the Feldman difference, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, go to Feldman, visit any of their stores, especially the one in Novi, or visit their website, feldmanchevrolet.com.
Welcome back. You guys already know it's Broder's Big Mock time. Chat family, thank you guys always for your support and for being here. Before I kick it back over to Mr. Matthew Broder, I want to be able to highlight a few of these comments from the chat, man. You guys are definitely on one. Smash that like button, and if you already have, encourage somebody else to do the same. Mike G, this Big Mock is swole. All right. Herb Nash, this mock is easier to look at than the new Detroit sign.
I agree.
Factual.
Let's see here. Taylor O'Neill. Sam said this massive mock fills a lot of holes.
Hey.
That was...
Wait, holes or holes?
I think that was implied.
Yeah. That was a unfortunate... maybe double entendre that I did not intend for. And usually when we're talking about mock drafts, we're not making that a double entendre either. It just so happens to be with a Broder's big mock that we kind of created something. Yeah. We created something.
And the combination of this username and comment, I think it goes together. Silky Johnson. All the movement via trades has been a fun twist. Some interesting movement that makes a lot of sense also.
Yeah. And that was kind of the goal of this. Like, we're doing one every week, and you could just about have the same mock draft each and every week. But we got
Silky Johnson again. I'm still sore from last week's big mock.
That was
get another day.
That was an arousing one for sure. That one was wild. But we got to keep it interesting. I want to see like how different draft boards play out affects the lines at 29. Like that's why this is so. This is a fun time. Of course, we'd love the number 2 pick overall, but the lines are good. Jared Goff, the lines are good now. You're not the underdog, right? So you're picking at the end of the draft. Things
say
can
that
go
one more
different.
time. Say it just one more time for the people in the back.
What, Big Mock?
No, your Jared Goff statement.
Oh yeah, no,
you're no longer underdog.
We're no longer underdogs, but they got to go out and win. So yeah, you know. I hope this is a winning move, trading back in the first round. But real quick, at numbers 17 through 24, there's a move, the second pick in this group. I want to hear what you guys think about this. The assumption that T. Higgins moves on from Cincy. You just replace him with another LSU wide receiver. So you got Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Brian Thomas Jr. What do you think about the Bengals going and getting Brian Thomas Jr. at 18?
Well, they're kind of at a crossroads with T. Higgins right now. I definitely don't hate it. Out of all of the wide receivers in the draft, in terms of, I'm not talking about the top 3, of course. I'm talking about after that. Nobody, I think, has more big playability than Brian Thomas Jr. So him and Jamar Chase, that could certainly be a deadly combination.
Not too shabby. The Cowboys, they trade up. Actually, first off, the Rams, they get Jared Verse, who falls to 19. I think that's pretty good value for Jared Verse.
Yeah, it is.
Jackson Powers Johnson. The Cowboys traded up with the Steelers, who I was thinking maybe the Steelers take him too. I'm seeing more things that he might not actually be able to, or might not transition to guard at the NFL level. He's a fantastic center. I thought he could play both, but maybe that's why the Steelers moved back. But Jackson Powers Johnson, I think, is a great pick for the Cowboys. Latu goes 21 to the Dolphins. Quinyon Mitchell, I think this is a good pick for the Eagles. They get another physical or a new physical wide receiver to pair with Slay, Bradbury, C.J. Gardner-Johnson. He goes to the Eagles. And then Chop Robinson to the Vikings. This is a little bit of a Marcus Davenport type draft pick. They signed Davenport. It didn't really pan out for them in Minnesota, but they need more people to go and get Jared Goff. Go and contain Caleb Williams, contain Jordan Love. So they're taking a shot because they kept that second first-round pick. They got their quarterback of the future. Now they get a developmental edge with massive upside, but they get him on a 5-year contract. You guys think about Chop to the Vikings?
Well, credit to the Vikings because they did lose Daniil Hunter, but they did go out and get Jonathan Grenard and Andrew Van Ginkel. However, you can never have too many pass rushers. And Chop Robinson, we all know that he's a guy with a high upside, and I think he would fit right in on this team. And Andrew Van Ginkel is more than just a pure edge rusher, so maybe they can move him around a little bit. To me, if I'm the Vikings, the more ideal pick would be if Byron Murphy or a Jershawn Newton falls, but this is not a bad consolation prize, Chop Robinson.
No, you're right. I've actually had Jershawn Newton or Byron Murphy going to the Bears in a lot of mock drafts.
Ooh, that'd be a great pick for them, but go on.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's for the reason. It's like all last year, whenever we would give our keys to the game for the Lions game, it's controlling the interior of that defensive line, making sure that pressure doesn't come up in Goff's face. It can come to the outside, although obviously no pressure is better, but it's that pressure up the middle that Goff has trouble with the most because of his mobility. So if I'm the Bears or the Vikings or the Packers, I'm probably going a pass rushing defensive tackle. But this is sort of the next best on the board. So they took their shot with Chop. And then Ladd McConkey to the Steelers. Put him with George Pickens.
Chill guy.
Yeah, that's more weapons for Russell Wilson, right?
Or
Justin Fields.
And I think I've gone cornerback in like every single draft to the Steelers. So I'm mixing it up a little bit here. Their front seven, by the way, is nasty.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it is disgusting. T.J. Watt, Highsmith, Keanu Benton.
Yep.
But here's the time.
Uh-oh.
It's the line, so there is a trade back. But here is the final 8 picks of the first round of the NFL draft. Reactions.
Cool.
So we got Frazier going to the Packers. Terrion Arnold goes to the Bucks. McKinstry goes to the Cardinals. Bo Nix. So this was the Broncos trading back. They traded. Who went up to 12? They traded back. I know the Bills moved up, but basically they get Bo Nix at 28 later in the first round as their future. They get him on a 5th-year contract. Nate Wiggins is the trade up. San Francisco thinks Detroit is going to take Wiggins. Trades up to 29 to get Wiggins. Latham goes to the Ravens, which I think is a nasty move for them. But then here it is. At 31, the Detroit Lions get Cooper DeJean out of Iowa. I'm not even going to describe it. What are your guys' reactions?
There's just going to be some small contingent of people who see Michael Penix Jr. say, we could have had a quarterback. Yeah.
It's very small.
I
don't like it, man, because you got Kool-Aid at 27, you got Arnold at 26, you got Nate Wiggins at 29. You got to move up and get one of these guys, and the cost wouldn't be that much to move up a few spots and grab one of these guys. Instead, Cooper DeJean is a great athlete, but I don't think he fits the type of corner that we need for this defense. He's more of a zone corner, and we need more of that outside man presence. So that's just me personally. I think you move up and go get one of those other names.
And you know what? Listen, when you first see the mock, just the first round of the mock, a lot of times we have our reactions. But in a lot of these mocks, when we kind of see the rest of it, it starts to paint a little bit different picture. So I kind of want to see the other picks. I know we're going to reveal that at the end.
I will. But first, Flannel, what do you think?
Yes, sir.
So, KG, I think you hit it on the head when it comes to the concerns about Cooper DeJean, because he does play outside, but yes, he is definitely more of a man corner, of a zone corner. Yeah. If there's any thing in which he struggled with, it was man coverage. But he put up some pretty nasty numbers when it comes to his time at corner. I mean, he allowed this season when targeted 20 receptions for 194 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions, a 37.8 passer rating, and a 43.5 completion percentage. And I get it. It was Iowa. It was in the Big Ten, but still.
Yeah.
If you're a college cornerback, you're not going to be facing the no matter who you are, no matter if you're an Alabama corner, a Georgia corner, or an Iowa corner, you're going to have some games in which you face non-NFL players. So I don't look too much into the whole he was at Iowa thing. I don't hate it. At 31, to me, there's a name that I would rather have than Cooper DeJean at 31. That's Kamari Lassiter, but that's neither here nor there. I don't necessarily.
But if Terry and Arnold falls to like a 26, are you moving up? Would you consider moving up?
Yeah. I would consider it for sure.
Absolutely.
I would 100% consider it.
That's the big, like with this, I'm not even a huge Cooper DeJean fan. I think the value's there, especially at 31, especially with his ability to play special teams, return kicks, return punts. And I see him more as a long-term safety, especially with the Lions. So not necessarily that, outside corner, which he can play, but he is probably better suited in the slot or at safety. But it's just that versatility, that best player available type. But if you see Terrion Arnold fall, or Kool-Aid, whoever you have your eye on, to me it's Terrion Arnold. If he's there after 20, I say you jump up and get Terrion Arnold.
Well, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
And see, this is where the whole Cooper DeJean thing, it's kind of difficult for me, because as a player at Iowa, I loved Cooper DeJean, especially what he did in that Michigan State game, getting that big interception in the end zone, returning that punt for a touchdown, which was absolutely electric. I'm a big fan of his game, and especially he made a ton of big plays the year before with all of his interceptions and pick sixes. Credit to him, he became more of a shutdown guy in his last year at Iowa, didn't have as many big plays, which I think is an even more valuable skill. It's just, when I hear Cooper DeJean and the whole, he's a long-term safety, he's not really an outside guy, he's more of a slot guy. Really nothing about what he did at Iowa really shows any evidence of that. I think people just see a white guy and are like, he can't play corner. And you know what? I'm dead serious. I don't blame you for that. It was Jason Sehorn about 23, 24 years, Riley Moss, and now Cooper DeJean.
That's true.
Both Iowa corners, by the way. So I can't necessarily blame you for that, but I do think that plays a role, and you can't convince me otherwise.
Hey, shout out to Dante151 with the super chat. Said breaking news, Tigers and Twins postponed to Saturday due to weather.
Damn.
It will be a double header on Saturday. He says, and that is a big mock energy. Also, we already got one guy. Shout out to Randy Smalley. I would have taken Penix.
Really?
Wow. Okay, yeah, that's.
He's the one. He's the one quarterback I wouldn't even consider. I really wouldn't consider many of them, or any of them. But I don't know about that. He's Hendon Hooker, ish. He's obviously a lot different. But injuries, he's old. We gotta have our Hendon Hooker.
Here's the thing, though. If you're the Giants at 32, I look at that and I say, why the hell not? You got Daniel Jones on a long-term deal. Who'd they bring in? Drew Lock?
Right.
Come on. Come on. You
gotta take a flyer.
The
Absolutely.
the Giants. I don't envy Giants fans right now. I'll just say that. I know that they made a move for Brian Burns, and they got Thibodeau, and they got Dexter Lawrence on the defensive line. But other than that,
that offense is horrible.
There's really nothing to look forward to on that for the Giants franchise. But if you draft Michael Penix at 32, considering what you saw him do at college, maybe working with Brian Daboll, I don't hate the pick at 32 for the Giants.
By the way, Big Dan Davis makes a good point. Wouldn't put it past Brad Holmes to trade out of the first round.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's something like this. I would rather him trade out of the first round versus taking Cooper DeJean, just gain some draft capital. But I'm not going to trade out in one of our mock drafts that we're doing on here. So we'll see what happens after the break. But the trade, by the way, was 29 for 31, and I believe 124. I want to pick in that, I think it's the fourth round, in that 100 to like 145 range, where the Lions go from 73 to 164. There's so much talent right in between there. There's one guy who I've picked before who we're going and getting again. But when we come back, we'll finish off. Also call in. Let's talk about this if you want, or any of these other Lions topics, Jared Goff topics. You announced that the Tigers are postponed, right?
Yeah.
Cool. I've been
shout out to
Dante
151.
Pardon?
I said shout out to Dante 151.
Dante, the man.
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
And let me throw off that phone number as well, 313-552-6322. Definitely call in. Criticize Broder's big mock. I know that he's going to defend it. And I also know where else you can get some defense. That is Guardian Alarm. They offer you customized solutions from real experts. Our professional technicians, they take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. 24/7 professional monitoring. Call us anytime, day or night, and know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone with you as long as needed. It is technology backed by people. Your safety and security, it deserves technology that's been proven to work and people have been proven to care. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT. Little Mock Energy, 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
When it comes to chicken sandwiches, I have got the sleeper. It's the Shake Shack Chicken Shack sandwich. Try the Chicken Shack sandwich for free with a $10 purchase. Grab a shake and a crispy crinkle fry, and your Chicken Shack will be free. Just use the code word Woodward in person, online, or download the Shake Shack app today. Promotion available in all 7 Michigan Metro Detroit locations.
What up, though? People, welcome back to Wake Up Woodward. Thank you guys for choosing to start your morning off with the crew. We got the whole starting 5 in the building. Detroit's #1 draft pick, Mr. KG in the sound booth. What up, though? Hey, and we got Mr. JB Smooth in the TD booth. That is Woodward Sports' MVP.
What's up, fellas?
Yo, Pat, I'll ask you about that later. We got Mr. Flannel Sam, our vet of the squad over here.
Hey,
Sam Reynolds.
What up? What
it's
up?
your boy Brandon Dan, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid, covering Detroit Pistons for the network, and the man of the hour right now, who's been whipping it out for the last 2 segments. It is.
Yo.
And you got one more segment, too, because you can't judge a mock by the tip. You can't judge until you see the whole thing.
That's right.
I'm just saying, right? Tell me I'm lying. You can't tell me I'm lying. That's what I'm saying. Mr. Matthew Broder, our credentialed Detroit Lions and Tigers beat writer and reporter.
You want that shaft? We're going to show you the rest of it.
We need the whole thing.
This is getting outrageous. So let's finish it off so we can have a little conversation before what's trending with JB Smooth. JB, if you could put up the all Lions draft picks. We got Cooper DeJean. We got Chris Jenkins out of Michigan at 61.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. Look at that.
We got Austin Booker, who I'm every day I learn a little bit more about Austin Booker and his ceiling, I like him a lot more. Edge out of Kansas, Cooper Beebe with that pick, 124. This is what you got to move back 2 spots in the first round. You move from 29 to 31, and you get Cooper DeJean and Cooper Beebe. So I guess you're getting a couple Coopers. I didn't even think about that. You got Michael Barrett, who I think is underrated in this draft, if I'm being honest.
I'm not biased at all, but I agree.
Yeah. I honestly have to avoid Michigan players often because I know I'm going to hear the bias. But I actually do think if you're going to take a shot on a linebacker in the 5th round, Michael Barrett's one to keep an eye on. Caden Wallace is a really athletic right tackle who played opposite Fasciano over at Penn State. So he's got experience there. Maybe this is one you develop over the next couple of years. Penny Sewell moves to left tackle. Caden Wallace is one of those guys who could be your starting right tackle in 3 years. Tanner Bordellini, one of the more athletic centers out of Wisconsin, another Big Ten center. And then a tight end, Tanner McLaughlin at round 7, pick 249. What do you guys think? What's missing? To me, there's one position missing from this draft, but I want to hear your guys' thought.
No, I like it. I like it. Like I said, you got to kind of see the entire thing before you can give an opinion on what the mock actually looks like. I actually like it. Cooper Beebe in the 4th. I know a lot of people in the chat were saying, wow. In the 4th, Chris Jenkins, from the first time we heard him speak, we saw him play this season. Obviously, we did. And 2 Michigan men on there. I can't be mad at it, especially when the second one of them is a linebacker. I would like the Detroit Lions at some point in time in this draft to just take a flyer on a linebacker they believe they can coach up. But Flanagan, man, how you feeling about this?
I like this. I like this mock a lot. The Cooper DeJean pick, I think I like more than some people in this room. Not my favorite at 31, but certainly I've been consistent about this. Brad Holmes, considering the moves that have already been made the last 3 drafts, can pretty much do whatever he wants because it's just best player available. You know what I like about the Chris Jenkins pick? Because this is one where I've had to take off my Wolverine glasses for just a second. I think Chris Jenkins would benefit greatly from going to a defensive line that is already pretty good, already has the starters. I don't know if he projects to be that star defensive lineman, dominant defensive lineman, but I think he's a guy that can be a starter, that can be a rotational piece for many, many years. I mean, you saw it at Michigan. I think his mates on the defensive line, Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant, are actually project to be better pros or better prospects than Chris Jenkins, but Jenkins is great at stopping the run. He can make some plays in pass rush as well, although I think he's kind of meh at that compared to some, but still, I like the pick for the depth and to be a spot starter and maybe start someday. Austin Booker, again, that's is he my favorite? No, but it's the 73rd overall pick, and the reality is that you can sell me on Aiden Hutchinson, Marcus Davenport, James Houston, and then some depth. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what Austin Booker can be this year. And you already know how I feel about Cooper Beebe. Cooper Beebe is going to be the 2nd best interior offensive lineman from this draft after Jackson.
Is that one
Powers
of your guys' sons, right? Cooper Beebe?
Oh, when you really look into him, when you really look at his numbers in his film, Cooper Beebe is just, I don't know how in any realm he would fall to the 4th round. But if he does, obviously, pick. KG?
Yeah, so my question is, you didn't take a receiver. That's the position you were alluding to. Was there a particular reason why you didn't take a receiver?
No, the receivers that were on the board at 73, after taking Chris Jenkins at 61, I wanted an edge. Actually, my thought process was there wasn't an offensive lineman available at 73 that I liked, whether it was Cooper Beebe, Bo Limmer, one of the offensive linemen that you could take at that 124 pick. I took the opportunity to go edge. I don't like the edges after the middle of the 100s. Like they're at 164, there's usually not an edge that I really like on that board.
Difference maker.
If you're not getting Marshawn Nealon in the 2nd round, if you're not getting Javon Solomon or Mohamed Kamara in the 3rd or the 4th round, it drops off for me. So wide receiver is the one. I think you got to take him in the first 3 rounds. For me, those top 3 rounds of wide receivers, there's some great ones. That's where you would get them.
All right, Mike G. Broder loves edging. Eduardo O'Neill. Broder loves to edge. Crazy clown. Broder wanted to edge.
Whoa!
I think you set the chat off with that one.
Yeah. Hey, but you know what? I know you're somebody, and I don't blame you for this, by the way, that believes in Jamison Williams, that believes in the potential upside of Donovan Peoples-Jones, that believes in Khalif Raymond, and obviously you got Amon-Ra and Sam Laporta, and then Jahmyr Gibbs coming out of the backfield catching passes. And even Brock Wright as a backup tight end. You can justify not taking a wide receiver in this draft. Would I take one with one of the picks? Sure, but it's not. We don't have needs.
Dire.
It's not dire. Yeah. It's not dire. They have what it takes, at least in terms of barring injury, of course, or anything like that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Hey, overall, Big Mock energy?
Yeah.
I'll give it Big Mock. Yeah.
Well, hey, chat family, let us know. Big Mock energy. What did you call it before? Average size mock, or
I think I did a lot of above averages to describe some of the fan mocks, but this is a good one.
This is a 9-incher right here, huh?
Oh my god!
It's okay. Go ahead.
I'll tell you what, too, though, and this is I didn't even get to talk.
Gargantuan mock.
Yeah,
shout out to CK.
I didn't even get to mention this, but Michael Barrett, linebacker could end up being an underrated need in the future, because when you look at a guy who might not get a second contract here despite doing a lot of good things, especially last year, Derek Barnes is a candidate for that, considering all the other players that you want to sign. So Michael Barrett as some insurance, somebody who's not expected to play right away, don't hate that either.
And Chris Jenkins could be insurance for Lee McNeil.
Absolutely.
Like, there's a conversation to be had about when you extend Lee McNeil, because if he plays this year next to DJ Reader, there's a chance he gets too expensive.
Is it kind of silly to say that I think Chris Jenkins could become what Aleem McNeil was last year at like his ceiling?
Yeah.
Like I said, I never see him being like a 10-sack guy or anything like that. He's not going to be a Quinnen Williams or an Aaron Donald or even like a Dexter Lawrence or somebody like that. But is he going to be potentially a multiple-year starter, maybe flirting with a Pro Bowl or two? I could definitely see it.
Mm-hmm. And Mitten May, man, what a bad influence you are, Broder. He said he was trying to get some work done. Now he's just sitting here playing with his mock. Way to
Happens.
Do what I can.
Happens to the best of us, right?
Yeah.
But hey, look, I know we got the most electrifying segment on the way. It's high time, man, today.
Yeah.
We got Broder's Big Mock. We had the doc on the show. We got what's trending on the way. High time.
High time. I thought you were doing that. Visit Dispo Dispensary today, Dispo, for exclusive new deals and experience a team that curates an unbelievable atmosphere mixed with fresh inventory from Michigan's largest variety of products. Save the date for 420 at Dispo Dispensary. Dispo is putting on epic events with over 1,000 giveaways at each location. Stay tuned for more details. Dispo Dispensary, disposhops.com, your local cannabis plug.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Congratulations to the real coach of the year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
Soroki's Nashville Hot Chicken is back, everybody, featuring crispy Nashville hot chicken tenders. They got the hot chicken sandwich, the Nashville hot loaded fries, and not to mention the newest hot pizza. I gotta try that, actually. This is a limited time offer, so you guys have to stop in Soroki's and get one as soon as possible. Visit Sorokis.com to place your order online, or you know what, just stop into one of their convenient 11 locations around the Metro Detroit area for all you need.
Oh, Welcome back, man. Welcome back to the Wake Up Woodward show. Thank you guys for supporting Chat Family. As always, you guys are a very important part of this show, of this Wake Up Woodward family. Smash that like button, and if you have, thank you all for supporting the crew. We appreciate it greatly. All right, let's get this thing teed up. It's time for the most electrifying segment in sports entertainment. If you smell what JB Smooth is cooking, it's what's trending. Hey,
what's up, fellas?
The fire hat.
I know. Thanks.
It reminds me of just the Ben Wallace era.
I know. It reminds me of better times.
Yeah.
I'll say better times. Luckily, sorry, Kool-Aid, you only got one more game to go through to experience this. But let me show you the most cool assists you will ever see this week. Look at the pass.
Oh, nice. He didn't go up with it.
Did he get an assist?
You
There we
gotta
go.
go up with it.
Oh.
That's crazy.
What?
Dang.
That's crazy.
The step back.
Oh,
Look at
my
the wrist.
word. Ooh.
That's fire.
I don't know who this guy is, but he's just been doing like assist videos for a while.
Yeah, he cold.
Goodness gracious. On the money.
Oh, you missed that one.
Come on.
Oh.
It's a corner three.
Wait. You still got the assist.
Hey.
All right.
Yeah, he still got it back.
Dog.
Some of the smoothest assists ever.
Oh.
Bro, this is cold.
Yeah.
He does it with no
This is
effort
cold.
too. Like,
No effort.
He was one of these Drew League
Like
players.
it's effortless, man.
I know.
That one right there was that was
crazy.
smooth, man.
So what are we thinking? Is this approval? Can he play for the Pistons?
Anybody can play for the
right
Pistons.
now. Yeah, he can play for the Pistons.
Anybody.
Of course he can. That was sick, man. And you know what it reminds me of, especially kind of seeing him do it in like a 4-on-4, 5-on-5 set? Jason Williams, man. White Chocolate used to do
Jay
stuff like that
Wills.
in
Yes.
game.
Shout
Without
out.
traveling. Sometimes he get called for carries. But overall, it was beautiful basketball, man. Beautiful basketball, at least to me. That's what it reminded me of.
Add Jason Williams to somebody that I think is very overrated, but that's just
Oh.
me.
Whoa.
Hey, we're the
What?
Sacramento Kings better with Mike Bibby.
Here come the fun police, man. Here goes Sam.
It's not the fun police. It's just that he couldn't shoot and he turned the ball over as often as he made big plays. I understand that one he made in the All-Star game or whatever was nice, but
How do you hate on your own kind, man? You realize he's maybe the greatest white basketball player ever. Besides Larry Bird. Besides Larry Bird.
KG.
You got Larry Bird and who else?
Kevin Love. American-born Chandler Parsons was better than Jason Williams. We're talking about Jason Williams was an average player. He was reckless. They were Mike Bibby. They were better with Mike Bibby.
I loved his game, how it matured when he got to the Heat as well, though.
Well,
I did.
That's different. That's different.
I did.
That's different.
He got a ring.
He did.
That's
different.
Mike Bibby, does he?
Well, Mike.
I'm just saying.
What role did Jason Williams play on that Heat team? That's all I'm saying too.
Anyway, all right. Moving
Can't have
on
nothing
here.
nice.
Look, Coach, I'm not going to tell you again. If you get one more text, you're getting thrown out. That's all I'm saying.
Coach, chill.
Yeah,
He's got two texts, it look like.
Hey, sit down, Coach. Sit down, Coach. Sit down, Coach.
Yeah, sit down,
Coach, you got to chill.
Sit down, Coach. Sit down, Coach.
Oh, no, he turned
Come on,
up.
little Sheed. That's
turned
baby
up.
Sheed right there.
He turned up. With the water bottle, too. He ain't playing.
Tell him, Coach, you got to chill.
It's the point from the ref for me, like, nah, get out the gym.
Right.
Hit the showers,
Sit down,
champ.
Coach. Sit down, Coach.
Mitten made, little Bobby Knight.
Yeah, seriously. I was waiting for him to
Really?
grab something and throw it.
Oh, yo, I like that one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's become that time in the week. This Thursday is Coaching Culture with Matthew Broder.
We got an interesting one today, huh?
We have an interesting one today. I think this one, we're trying to find Broder's next girlfriend. So, Kool-Aid, I know you gave me a suggestion, but I also had another one in mind, too. So now
Let's
we
go.
have two of them for you to choose
Let's
from.
go.
Ooh, I
I
like it.
think the first one is a little bit of a stretch, but we'll see. We'll see. Broder, she's 25 years old. She has lost the majority of the baby weight, I would think.
Okay. Experienced.
I will,
Baby.
Yeah.
Standing on the corner.
Hey, baby.
I present to you and our Woodward Chat family,
who is this?
Sexy Red.
Hey.
Who's that?
Look at his face.
You don't know who Sexy Red is?
Look at his face.
What's her name? Sexy Red?
Ski Yee?
Sexy
Nothing?
Red. She has a song called Ski.
That's what it's called? Skeet?
Ski Yee.
Skeet?
It's a mating call. It's a mating call for the women.
Interesting.
There you go, Broder.
Is she looking for that double black diamond?
There you go.
I don't know. I'm going to pass.
Broder and
Smash
Sexy
or
Red
pass?
would be
Pass.
hilarious.
Pardon?
I said Broder and Sexy Red would be a hilarious couple.
We
Oh
need
my
to
God.
see it.
Can you,
It's a
can
better
you see
picture.
it?
For the streets.
I don't like the color red. I've been conditioned not to wear it. Literally at Michigan, if we had any little bit of red in any of our clothing, our entire team was running.
So
like
you're-
in the locker room,
wow.
your boxers have red in it. Your socks out on the field.
Randy
you're-
Smalley
what you
said,
saying?
Broder, you on that. You on that, Broder. That's Randy Smalley.
Oh, Randy, my guy. Hey, these days, I'll say I won't say no to many people.
All right. Well, like I said, we have two for you to choose from. That was your first choice, Sexy Red. Now this next one, she's a little bit older.
Okay.
Not necessarily
okay.
a MILF, but she's just older because she hasn't had kids yet. She is single, by the way, and she is 44 years old. She is she's still doing musical acts right now. She's a singer, but Miss Maya.
Oh, hey, where's she been
yeah.
at?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, hey.
I'm not mad at it.
Broder, what's your thoughts?
That's more his speed.
Oh, I'm in. I'm in for sure. What was she used to have some jams back in the day, and every time I type in Maya into the chat, MIA comes up. How are we supposed to get freaking MY?
Yeah, MY.
Yeah, MY.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not MIA.
Is it pronounced
yeah.
Mia?
Maya.
Maya.
Yeah.
I used to
Okay.
work with her music group, man. Her
She
backup
was in
singers
Lady
and such.
Marmalade.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Yeah, she
No,
has a few hits.
this is definitely. I'm choosing her over
Sexy Red.
Skeet.
You talk about one of them girls that have a good personality
Yeah.
and the looks to match.
Wholesome.
That's one of them, man. That's
Wholesome.
one.
That's what Broder need, man. He ain't
Yeah.
ready for a Sexy Red, man. Besides, Drake might fight you over Sexy. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And she's a one-man woman, and she's looking for a ghetto superstar. Let's go.
I think Sexy Red was too, but
Yeah.
That was one of my songs was Ghetto Superstar. That's what I was looking for.
yeah.
Ghetto Superstar. You know.
Yeah.
So I think we got it locked up for you. Maya is your pick.
Yes. This is
There
the
it
dating
is.
game. I'm in.
There it is.
Bro, but your face when you first saw Sexy Red,
I
dog,
know,
it
it's
had me gone, dog.
Hilarious. You silly for that one. Man.
That's it for
It
what's
looked like
trending,
it was.
you guys.
It looked like you were trying to figure out like a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle, bro. You were just like, "What is?
What is that?
It's like, huh? What are those?
I looked over at Flannel too, and he was the same face. Like, what exactly am I looking at here?
Right.
I mean, objectively, if I'm
Watch
speaking,
yourself.
if I'm speaking objectively,
Watch yourself, Sam.
there is a wide gap between those two. There's a river gap between those two.
Like Moses.
Like
Moses.
Part the seas.
with Maya being on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely want Maya
Yes,
on top.
yes. Okay.
I got little tears in my eyes, but look, it's the mailbag segment. You guys, do we have any more breaks? Any more?
We just got one more
business
break.
we gotta handle?
We can take care of business right now and do some mailbag.
Yeah, definitely. I know we got a couple callers we'll get to
Yeah.
as well.
We got to tell them about the QB challenge.
The QB challenge, of course. Shake Shack and Woodward Sports wants to remind you it's always football season. How would you like to win 2 free tickets to this season's home opener? It's the Shake Shack Quarterback Challenge. If you can throw it on a rope, you could be at the home opener. Register today for your chance to win at any Shake Shack location at woodwardsports.com or scan the QR code right there.
And you can't forget about Les Stanford.
Les Stanford, of course. Hey, if you're not going to Feldman to get cars, you definitely go to Les Stanford. Just any of those two. What happens when you buy a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more great products to more people. This is exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. The same great service that customers have come to know and trust on Woodward Avenue just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford and Dearborn today at lesstanford.com. Les Stanford Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Hey, listen, bro. You got some snitches in the chat. Xavier D, careful, Sam. Flannels on thin ice.
No,
Does your wife listen to the show, Eduardo O'Neill?
From time to time. The thing is we've actually had those discussions more recently as we've gone in our marriage about like celebrity crushes and whatnot. That's harmless.
That's your acceptance list.
And like Maya is the type that if my wife would be like, oh, I could definitely see that. Just like with her, she's really into like prime Johnny Depp. And I'm like, oh yeah, I could definitely see that.
So to answer the question, no, she's not listening this morning.
We'll see.
No, I'm just playing. We'll see. Who do we have on the lines this morning?
We lost our callers, but if y'all was in the system, please call it back. Sorry, we having trouble with the talk back, so we'll put you on live. So call back.
So by the way, for Jason Williams to be overrated, what are your what do you think Jason Williams is? Like, what is he being overrated? I don't think he was like some amazing NBA player, like Hall of Fame player, but for what I think of Jason Williams, he was as maybe underrated. Like his ability to pass and dribble and make incredible plays, and played on some winning teams.
He was doing stuff people wasn't doing.
But that doesn't, to me, that doesn't flair and pizzazz doesn't really move me. Like you said, Kool-Aid, which is fair. When he got to Miami, he did mature his game a lot. He was the starting point guard. I will give him credit for that. It's just that a Miami Heat championship had a lot more to do with Mr. Dwayne Wade. But still, with the time that he played with the Kings, which was only a few years, was a very small percentage of his career. But that's all anybody talks about, are the fancy passes and whatnot. He was a valuable player for a while. He was. It's just people just talk about, oh my God, that crazy pass that he made. To me, it's just a regular assist in an NBA game.
I think it was more or less the culture, though, too. The NBA is one part's winning, and when you aren't winning, because only one person's going to win the championship. So what's the main driver, especially during that era? And somebody said it, they were selling out arenas. They were the team you had to watch when they rolled into your city. And people did follow those Sacramento Kings closely because they knew that Jason Williams was going to do something amazing. You know what I'm saying? It's a skill game, but it's also how do you stretch the bounds with your talent as well. Skill plus talent, and I believe that he possessed some skill that matured over time, but talent-wise, he showed there's not a lot of other people who could do some of the things he could do, and it made the game of basketball cool.
And that's where I just don't value that as much as some. And that's okay, by the way. That's all right. I'm more of a can you get the job done sort of thing. And Jason Williams, at least for the Kings, they upgraded at point guard when they went to Mike Bibby.
Hey, look, he would have won a championship earlier, though. No, look, because we can say his game matured when he got there. They should have won a championship when he was at Sacramento Kings.
Yeah, that Kings
team.
No.
Bro, that Lakers series was cheap. But Russ was cheap.
No,
Weber, come on now.
Okay, yeah, bro, they should have won. They had a team that was good enough to win. If it wasn't for those Lakers, they got a championship. In the refs, they got a championship.
Well, let's do a little quick. I want to make sure I got my facts straight on this because I didn't do my Jason Williams research before the show. My bad. Okay.
That wasn't on the bingo card today.
In the 01-02 season, Jason Williams was already gone. That was the year where they got the closest. That was the year with the Western Conference Finals in which there was some controversy. I'm not saying that those Sacramento Kings teams in previous years weren't good either. They most certainly were. They were victim of playing in the same era as the Lakers, and then even if you want to go further, they also played in the same as some of the prime Tim Duncan era Spurs.
That's
they are
true.
Definitely a missed opportunity. It's just
Vlade
that
Divac, I forgot about
Vlade
that team,
Divac,
man.
Doug Christie.
Yeah.
And he inspired that team because
Turkoglu,
they
Bobby Jackson off the bench.
Young Keto.
They weren't. You remember, it wasn't just Jay Will. It was Chris Webber. It was Divac. It was other players on that team who started by osmosis to play similar to Jason Williams as well. That aspect of sharing the rock that they had, that started with Jason Williams. And even after he left, it still stayed with the team. It got to the point where you saw Mike Bibby get to Sacramento, and he wasn't as fancy with it, but he even tried to make sure, hey, let me throw in a couple nice passes. From a culture standpoint, I do believe Jason Williams deserves some more credit. I do agree with your sentiment because his game as an overall basketball player, it got better after he left the Sacramento Kings.
Right. And shout out to him. Like when you play a valuable role on a championship winning team, even if Dwayne Wade gets the lion's share of the credit, I'll give you credit for that. I will.
Top 5 greatest white players ever.
That's not true.
That's nowhere near.
Like if we're talking about American-born white players, there's not very many of them. But even just off the top of my head, like Kevin Love, Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Dave Cowens. I mean, you could go on.
Jason Williams,
John Havlicek,
right? John Barry.
I get it though. As a young hoops lover from our African American community. Jay Will was on repeat, bro. We would record, back to VHS, bro. We were trying, let me record that. We were outside and practice all the moves.
Bill Laimbeer. He was on and1 mixtapes, too.
Yeah.
Hey, shout out to him. You said we got a caller?
Yeah, we do got one caller. We'll put him on. You want to wake up, Woodward?
What up, though? Is he on?
Yeah, going once. Hold on, let me try again. Going once. Going twice. I think we just having hiccups with the phone today.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah,
it happens from time to time.
Now the chat's getting overrun with Pistol Pete, Kevin McHale, Bill Laimbeer, Jerry West.
Jerry West. I can't. How did I forget about Jerry West?
Let's remember the NBA started as a bunch of short Jewish white guys.
Bob
Cousy.
There
will be a Cousy.
Yeah.
There's a handful.
And then, of course, you've got the Europeans like the Jokic's and the Nowitzkis and like the Lukas and whatnot. But
the Euros don't count.
They're
separate.
separate. No, they are. They're separate. Even Steve Nash is Canadian.
What about Isaiah Hartelstein? The center for the...
Isn't he mixed? I think he is.
I just saw something on social media the other day because his dad's black, right? But he's like... like Isaiah Hartenstein.
He's bright skin.
Yeah, that's what he said. That's what he said. He's bright skin.
He said there's light skin, then there's bright skin. I'm like, why is this voice coming out of this guy's face?
I'm just saying, man. Y'all act like I said Brian Scalabrine or somebody. I'm just saying.
I
would
defend the white mamba. Come on now.
I'm just saying, man.
Oh, thank God. You're just playing.
Sam was ready
Sam
to
got typing like, let me bring up these stats. Like,
Right,
no,
Sam was ready
let
to
me
launch.
stop.
Like you said,
I love you, Sam.
or something.
Cool coach.
Oh man, I love.
He's
Cool
4-2.
coach. I can't even lie.
JJ Redick better than Jason Williams.
Oh,
don't discount JJ Redick.
No, I'm not.
That's one of those ones
that's tough.
that I will never say. I'm also not going to fight it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say it. I have probably an irrational love for Jason Williams.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Christian Laettner clears Jason Williams. He made an all-star team. People act like he was a tomato can in the NBA. He was all right. He just wasn't what he was.
Because he was a tomato can when he got to Detroit.
That's
Story of our lives.
Chris Webber.
You guys are great.
AI, T-Mac. Wow, what are we doing?
Yeah.
My one dream, I know we're over, but
that's okay.
I wish that Raptors team with Vince Carter and Tracy McGrady,
yes.
I wish that turned into something.
Yeah.
I don't even know where to go with this comment, but those two playing together.
They were just too young.
Yeah, and there was the era of Steve Francis and Cuttino Mobley, and like you had these two. So those were they were cousins, and they were high flyers. That was like man, that would have been fun.
Well, he was another one though, Tracy McGrady. As an individual, he never really shined until he went to Orlando. And speaking of which, what if Grant Hill didn't have those ankle injuries and he actually got to play healthy with Tracy McGrady?
Man.
What if Yao Ming wouldn't have got hurt so much when Tracy McGrady was on Houston? As much as we want to talk about him not getting out of the first round really at all during his prime, he had a lot of bad luck.
He did.
In terms of what happened with his supporting cast.
I'm seeing Dave DeBusschere, Kelly Tripucka.
Yeah. Hey, those are facts. Kelly, Detroit Pistons' own Kelly, was drafted in the same draft as Isaiah Thomas.
Talk about it. Hey, I think that's the show today, huh? We wrapping it up?
Yeah.
Let's wrap it up, man. Thank you guys, as always, for choosing to kick off your day with the Wake Up Woodward crew. We had this whole starting five in, and it was an amazing show. Broder whipped out his big mop.
He did.
Flannel Sam. He's Flannel Sam, and I love it. Listen, man, we had the doc on, John Maakaron, publisher of All Lions, on Sports Illustrated, as well as host of the Detroit Sports Podcast, our special guest for today, as he is every Thursday. And to shout out our elite, our illustrious, our wonderful, our stupendous. What were those other superlatives you used yesterday?
Hey, if I say those words about someone, they might just come into Birmingham roast.
Yeah. Might want to watch yourself.
I wish I wouldn't have. The one thing that I wish I wouldn't have called him yesterday on the show was beautiful. I'm like, that's a little weird if I were to say. This is what I said about you today, Shelby Miller. Other than that, though,
listen, you were talking about his balls, his fastball, his curveball, and putter.
Pause. Fast forward.
Unpausable.
Shout out to our elite booth, though, man. We got Detroit's #1 draft pick, Mr. KG.
You know it.
Hey, and we got Woodward Sports MVP over there with the fire hat. It reminds me of the Palace days. Yesterday was
Bring that
7
logo
years
back.
to the day
Yeah.
that the Pistons moved from the Palace, man. They played their last game there. Shout out to JB Smooth, Woodward Sports MVP.
I remember seeing that post too, but yeah, bring this logo back.
Please, man, bring
this
the
team and this
workhorse
fire
back,
and
man.
this energy back to the Pistons.
It was fire, man. It was fire. I absolutely love it. And those jerseys as well. Shout out to Mr. Flannel Sam Reynolds, the vet on this show. Always bringing it, man. Well studied, got the stats, got the takes, and he can take the heat as well.
He can.
I respect it, man. I really do. Stands on bitten ass, as Mr. D-Mac likes to say about Flannel. Hey, shout out to Matthew Broder, one of the hardest working guys out here on the beat for the Detroit Lions, for the Detroit Tigers. Thank you so much, brother, for everything that you do. And it's your boy, Brandon, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid. I cover these
Credentialed
people that we call
Pistons
the
beat writer.
Pistons.
I know you don't like talking about yourself, so I will. Our credentialed Pistons beat writer. That takes a lot of heart, my guy.
Hey,
shout out to you,
man. You said it there.
You got a big heart.
There we go.
Was that good enough? Was that chest pass? Did it have enough oomph in it for you guys?
Hey, thank you guys as always, man. Smash that like button if you haven't. If you have, thank you guys so much. Appreciate you guys for the super chats. Appreciate you guys for the comments today. As always, man, you guys are on one. Word to Eduardo. It's been Wake Up Woodward. Have a blessed day, you guys.